Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Viṣṇupadāya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 9, that is Dhruva Mahārāja returns home. And we are in the section where Dhruva is very happily received by his parents. That is being described here. It's a very amazing text. We'll just recite it once again. Text 47. Yasya prasanno bhagavan
Yasya prasanno
prasanno
bhagavan
gunair maitra dibhirharihi
Gunair
maitra abhirhari
tasmai namanti bhutani
Tasmai namanti bhutani
nimnamapa ivam swayam.
Nimnamapa swayam.
ivam swayam.
Translation.
Unto one who has transcendental qualities due to friendly behavior with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities offer honor, just as water automatically flows down by nature. Report. The question may be raised in this connection why Suruchi, who was not at all favorably disposed towards Dhruva, blessed him, "Long may you live," which means that she also desired good fortune for him. The answer is given in this verse. Since Dhruva Maharaj was blessed by the Lord due to his transcendental qualities, everyone was bound to offer him all respects and benedictions, just as water by its nature flows downward. A devotee of the Lord does not demand respect from anyone, but wherever he goes, he is honored by everyone throughout the whole world with all respect. Srinivas Acharya said that the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are respected throughout the entire universe because a devotee, having pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all emanations, automatically pleases everyone, and thus everyone offers him respect. Hare Krishna.
So here, unto one, Yasya prasanno bhagavan, who has the transcendental qualities. Why? Due to friendly behavior with the Supreme Personality. Right? Why he has the qualities? Due to the friendly behavior with the Supreme Lord. What happens to them? All living entities offer honor, just as water naturally flows down by nature. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that the question may be raised, why Suruchi, who was so actually envious of Dhruva, also blessed Dhruva. You know, the previous verse, Suruchistam samuktapya padavanadam arbhakam, and then bashpa gadgadaya gira. Can you imagine? Suruchi, this transformation in, this is Suruchi, right? Bashpa gadgadaya gira. So how come she became so favorable towards Dhruva? The answer is that simply by one's friendly behavior with the Supreme Lord, all the good qualities will come and sit on that personality. Yes. And then simply by that, one naturally will become a dear to everyone. Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro. So this is how Śrīmad Acharya he explains. One can see, these personalities, like the senior personalities that we see, the sannyasis, Srila Prabhupada, sannyasis, or even we can see our own Shiksha Gurus. They are honored by everyone, right? Why? Simply because of their friendly behavior with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we become devotee, lot many things happen. And one of the thing what happens is, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavate Akinchana Sarvair Gunair Tatra Samasite Suraha. That one who has the pure devotion to the Supreme Lord, what happens? All the qualities of the demigods will come and sit upon such a personality. And naturally, he will become very dear to everyone, including those who are adhira, in this case, personality like Suruchi. Text 48. Uttamascha dhruvascha obha annonyam prema vibhalau angasangat utpulakau astrougham muhurtuha. Translation.
The two brothers Uttama and Dhruva Mahārāja also exchanged their tears. They were overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love and affection, and when they embraced one another, the hair on their bodies stood up.
So the case with Uttama. So Uttama also, he met his brother, and what a slow motion we have entered now. Everybody, how they are feeling is being prema vibhalau. This is the word used for. Anybody remembers where this word has come previously? We had elaborately discussed this word previously. Prema vibhalau. And then Uttama, he also embraced Dhruva, overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love and affection. As they embraced each other, the hair on their bodies stood up. Okay. This word has come when Uddhava, when Uddhava explains to Vidura that, my dear Vidura, before departing to the spiritual world, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he very fondly remembered you. And as soon as Vidura hears that the Lord it is one thing, Ante Narayana Smriti, that we should be having Smriti of the Lord at the time of our death. And here it is different Ante Narayana Smriti. Ante, at the conclusion, Narayana is remembering him. Whom? Vidura. And when he heard this, there this word comes, that, Ruru the prema vibhalau, that how Vidura, he was crying with great ecstasy. Ruru the prema vibhalau. So this is the same now here happening between the two brothers. Text 49. Sunitiryasya janani pranobhyopi priyam sutam upaguhya jahavidhim tadangam sparshanivrita. Translation.
Suniti, the real mother of Dhruva Maharaj, embraced the tender body of a son who was dearer to her than her own life, and thus forgot all material grief, for she was very pleased. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, now Suniti. Now all through, Dhruva was determined. Uttanapad was, he was, he was always in the mood of blaming himself. But Suniti, she suffered the most, right? Her son, Pranopyobhi Priyam Sutam, who this child was far dear than her own life to her. She touched the tender body of Dhruva, and she was extremely pleased. And now there is beautiful verse here, text 50. Payastanabhyam susrava netrajai salilai shivai tadabhischabhyamananam vira suvomuhu. Translation.
My dear Vidura, Suniti was the mother of a great hero. Her tears, together with the milk flowing from her breast, wet the whole body of Dhruva Maharaj. This was a great auspicious sign. But when deities are installed, they are washed with milk, yogurt, and water, and this ceremony is called Abhishek. In this verse, it has been especially mentioned that the tears which flowed down from the eyes of Suniti were all auspicious. This auspiciousness of the Abhishek ceremony performed by his beloved mother was an indication that in the very near future, Dhruva Maharaj would be installed on the throne of his father. The history of Dhruva Maharaja's living home was that his father refused to give him a place on his lap, and Dhruva Maharaj determined that unless he got the throne of his father, he would not come back. Now, this Abhishek ceremony performed by his beloved mother was an indication that he would occupy the throne of Maharaj Uttanpad. It is also significant in this verse that Suniti, mother of Dhruva Maharaj, is described as Virasu, a mother who produced a great hero. There are many heroes in the world, but there is no comparison to Dhruva Maharaj, who was not only a heroic emperor of this planet, but also a great devotee. A devotee is also a great hero because he conquers the influence of Maya. When Lord Chaitanya inquired from Ramananda Rai about the most famous man in this world, the latter replied that anyone who is known as a great devotee of the Lord is to be accepted as the most famous.
Yeah, very amazing words. My dear Vidura, he says, Payastanabhyam sustrava netrajai salilai shivai. Suniti, the mother of the great hero, Virasuvo, one who has produced Virasuvo, her tears, together with the milk flowing from her breast, wet the whole body of Dhruva Maharaj. And this was Salilai Shivaihi was very, very auspicious. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that when the Abhishek is done to the deity, it is done with milk, yogurt, water, and this ceremony is called as Abhishek. And now here, mother is only doing Abhishek. No, there is no external water, there is no external milk, right? She is just producing the water and producing the milk. That is Netrajaihi. And this is the indication. There is something called as this is the indication. Indication is a great science in Jyotish actually. What is the exact word? I'm just missing that word. This is called as
Woman.
Prediction.
Omen or intuition.
Yeah, good. Sanskrit word indication. This is called
Chihna.
as
Chihna, Prabhu.
What is that, Prabhuji?
Chihna.
Chinna.
Yeah.
No, this is okay. I'm remembering everything else except that word. Okay. So, and this indicated that he is going to be installed as the king in very near future. So actually, this Shakuna Shastra, is not some people say, oh, it is Andhashraddha and this and that. Of course, people used it as Andhashraddha later, but one should be, if one is conscious, one is mindful of what's happening, one will get lot of indications, about it. I'm just missing that one word I want to use here. Okay, that is the exact word I'm missing. So this was the Abhishek ceremony performed by his beloved mother. And this was the indication that very soon he is going to take the throne of Maharaj Uttanapad. Now here Queen Suniti is mentioned as Virasu. Virasu means one who has produced a great hero. Right? So there are personalities. Like I'm in Maharashtra here. And of course, then we are here, it is like, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is considered a great hero. Not Maharashtra, the whole world. Then his son, Chhatrapati Sambhaji, is considered a great hero. Peshwa Bajirao, the first Bajirao. These three personalities are considered as unconquered heroes. And their mothers are called as this Virasu. And similarly, there is Maharana Pratap, then there are other personalities. Prabhupada says, even we have a chance to make our mother Virasu. How that? A devotee is also a great hero because he conquers the whole influence of Maya. And therefore, he also becomes a very famous man And Prabhupada gives the reference to Ramananda Rai asking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking question to Ramananda Rai that who is the most famous person? And Ramananda Rai says that anyone who is a great devotee of the Lord is also accepted as the most famous person. Ebe Yash Ghushuk Tribhuvan. Right. So therefore, this is also considered as great Veera to perform the devotional service. Many times devotees feel that, we should do some Veera activity, performing devotional service, book distribution, sponsoring books. These are all Veera activities, right? Text 51. Tam shasham sur janarnadnim drishtya te putra artiha pratilabdhaschiram nashto rakshita mandalam bhuvaha. Translation.
The residents of the palace praised the queen. Dear queen, your beloved son was lost a long time ago, and it was your great fortune that he has now come back. It appears, therefore, that your son will be able to protect you for a very long time and will put an end to all your material pangs.
Yeah. So now all the palace people, they began to praise the queen. They said that, Suniti, you suffered so much previously from the neglect of your husband, from the sarcasm of Suruchi. I mean, we have just one instance of Suruchi being so sarcastic. But you just imagine staying with such a personality and sharing husband with her. I mean, okay. So it must have been really pathetic for Suniti. But Suniti maintained her, Vaishnava behavior. What is the proof? The proof is, Mom, she says that, my dear son, do not, Mom, amangalam kuru tata. Don't think any amangal for, your mother. So she must have been in great distress previously. Then what to speak of Dhruva? See, Dhruva coming back, now it is history, now it is Leela. But when Dhruva, 6 months performing austerity, and there is no indication of he ever coming back. Recently, this flight born to Malaysia, that was lost. Nobody knows where that flight went. Entire flight went into oblivion. And with all our, the very high level, extreme accurate radar systems. Now, how powerful our radar systems are. Like the satellites are so powerful nowadays. They can very easily read what you and me, we are reading in our books. If you just go outside, and they can very easily capture what you are reading. This is the power of the satellites. But with all that might, this Malaysian flight was lost, and people just don't know where it went. It went in some antariksha, it went in water. What happened? Nobody has any idea. With 250 odd people on it, this flight was lost. Why we are discussing this flight? After 3 months, insurance company paid everybody insurance. They said that 3 mahine se nahi aaye aapke log. That means, consider the worst has happened, and we are paying the insurance amount. So why we are saying this is, Dhruva was absent for 6 months, and one day was like Yugayitam. So she suffered a lot, and now all the palace people, they are saying that now your child is back, Suniti, and he will protect you for a very, very long time, and he will put end to all your material pangs. Again, this is the indication. What is the indication? That she will go back to Vaikuṇṭha. Right? This is the indication. Putting end to the material pangs. Real material pangs is, and then Dhruva really took her back home, back to Godhead. That is Vaikuṇṭha. So this is very powerful. This indicative Shastra is also very powerful. Text 52. Abhirichatasttvaya nunam bhagavan pranatarthya yadanyudhyayino dhira mrityum jagyuhu sudarjayam. Translation?
I'll just read, Prabhu. Dear Queen, you must have worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who delivers his devotees from greatest danger. Persons who constantly meditate upon him surpass the course of birth and death. This perfection is very difficult to achieve. Purport. Dhruva Maharaj was the last child of Queen Suniti, but during his absence, she always meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is able to rescue his devotee from all dangers. While Dhruva Mahārāja was absent from his home, not only did he undergo severe austerities in the forest of Madhuvana, but at home, also his mother prayed to Supreme Lord for his safety and good fortune. In other words, the Lord was worshipped by both the mother and the son, and both were able to achieve the supreme benediction from the Supreme Lord. The word Sudurjayam, an adjective which indicates that no one can conquer death, is very significant. When Dhruva Mahārāja was away from his home, his father thought he was dead. Ordinarily, a king's son only 5 years old and away from home in the forest would certainly be supposed dead. But by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, not only was he saved, but he was blessed with the highest perfection. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, the palace people, they began to continue glorifying Suniti. You must have worshipped the Supreme. Who is the Supreme? One who delivers his devotees from the greatest danger. Nunam Bhagavan Pranatarthiha. And then you must have meditated upon him, and that's how you got your lost child back. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Dhruva Mahārāja was the lost child of the queen. And during the absence, not only Dhruva very intensely meditated, that we have seen, what did he do in the first month, second month, third month, fourth month, but at home, mother also performed the equal amount of austerity and prayers to the Supreme Lord. So thus both, Prabhupada writes here, mother and the son, both of them worshipped the Supreme Lord with great intensity, and thus both of them received the highest benediction. Sudurjayam, it is very difficult to conquer death. It is very, very difficult. Later we'll see Dhruva conquering death in style. The death personified comes in front of Dhruva. Dhruva places his feet on the head of the death personified and enters the Vaikuṇṭha Viman. So, and same with the mother also. So, calamity, but response of the calamity. Viktor Frankl, he writes a very wonderful books, In Search of Meaning of Life. There he says, between stimulus and response exists your free space. What kind of response we are going to give? And Bhagavatam is all about how to give response to calamity. Right? So, simply that wonderful response, created a completely different direction for Dhruva and completely different destination for Dhruva and also for Suniti. Durjayam, they conquered the death personified. Text 53. Tatra tatra upasangiptai lasat makaratoranaihi savrindakadalistambhaihi ugapo taisyatatvidhaihi. Translation?
Translation. The sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, when everyone was thus praising Dhruva Mahārāja, the king was very happy, and he had Dhruva and his brother seated on the back of a she-elephant. Thus, he returned to his capital where he was praised by all classes of men. Hare Krishna.
So now Dhruva, everybody was just praising Dhruva. Just imagine how people will praise. We have seen people winning some World Cup, and how these people are praised. World Cup winning. Hardly 10 countries play cricket. Out of that, India is like, our players, of course, all glories to them. But the point is, they are like over pampered with huge facility, huge money, and they will be playing with some Zimbabwe, some Pakistan, some Bangladesh, some Afghanistan, couple more good countries like England, Australia, and win. It is not even soccer or something like that, right? Which is played by 170 countries. How they are received. Now just imagine what kind of reception Dhruva Mahārāja deserves. And the citizens very happily gave that kind of reception to Dhruva. King was very happy. He made Dhruva and Uttama, right, seated on the back of the elephant. Specifically, it is being mentioned as she-elephant. And they entered the capital, praised by all classes of men. Simply right response and engagement in devotional service. This is all we need. Right response and engagement in devotional service. Right. Text 54. I think yes, something.
Yes, Prabhuji, on 53 you read 54.
Okay. And I read the translation of 53. So
Yes.
now we'll read the text 53 and read the translation of 54. Text 53. Lalyamanam janairevam dhruvam sarbrararam nrupah aropya karanim rishtas stuyamana avishatpuram. This is how they entered the city, and this is the next verse. Kadali Stamba. I was also wondering where is Kadali Stamba gone? Yeah, please, translation. Translation
The
of the
whole
fifth.
The whole
city,
city was decorated with columns of banana trees containing bunches of fruits and flowers, and betel nut trees with leaves and branches were seen here and there. There were also many gates set up which were structured to give the appearance of shocks. Purport. Auspicious ceremonies with decorations of the green leaves of palms, coconut trees, betel nut trees, and banana trees, and fruit flowers and leaves are an age old custom in India. To receive his great son Dhruva Maharaj, King Uttanapad arranged a good reception, and all the citizens were enthusiastically took part with great jubilation. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So now, how the city was decorated, that is being mentioned here. The entire kingdom, the whole city. Now, those times, the kingdoms were the city kingdoms. Right. City kingdom means just like a Singapore. Singapore is a city kingdom. It's one city and it's a city country. It is one city and a country in itself. So most of these countries were like the city countries. Right. Panchal, Panchali, Hastinapur. Of course, they control vast area. But what happened is like uh, like America giving protection to Japan, giving protection to Singapore, giving protection to. So they have the local king and the global king, which is like a. So they were Chakravarti Samrats were the global kings, and the small kingdoms they followed the system set by the Chakravarti and followed their dharma as a Kshatriya and ruled on their behalf, like that it was. So this is how the whole city comes in picture. It was decorated with Kadali Stambhairhi, Puga. What is a Kadali is the banana tree, Stamba is the columns. Puga Potaihi means the betel nut trees. So whenever we do, some function here, like, people do Haritalika, people, we do some Tulsi Vivaha, and there all these decorations are made. These are not whimsical decorations. Here is the reference. What is the reference? The whole city was decorated with the columns of the banana trees and the betel nut trees and the betel nut leaves and branches, and gates were decorated, structure in the appearance of shark, that is Makara Kundala. So that is a structure. Srila Prabhupada explains that the auspicious ceremonies with green leaves of palms, coconut trees, betel nut trees, banana trees, and fruits, flowers, and leaves is an age-old custom in India. So somebody asks us reference, किधर लिखा है कि ऐसा. I was like that, I was very, very agnostic person. I used to question everything. So, किधर लिखा है ये? Here it is written. किधर लिखा है ये Kadali Stamba, banana, this thing should be there, this thing should be there. Here it is written, right? So these are age-old customs of India. And that's why Prabhupada used to say that Indian culture is so great that Krishna is just stone's throw away in Indian culture. You cannot miss Krishna in India. That's why India is a great place. Because culture is stooped in Krishna, it is soaked in Krishna. We have to just revive the culture in the right sense and apply it. Text 55. We just see one more verse. Chutapallavavasastrak muktadama vilambivi upaskritam pratidvaram apam kumbhai sadipakaihi. Translation.
At each and every gate there were burning lamps and big water pots decorated with differently colored cloth, strings of pearls, flower garlands, and hanging mango leaves.
So this is the complete Vedic decoration. How to decorate. Each and every gate, There were burning lamps, right? Hum lagate hai diya, panti. So they were there. Big water pots were kept. So one can see all the Pancha Mahabhut elements are there being present here. And then differently colored cloth, strings of the pearls, flower garlands, and hanging mango leaves. Right? Hum mango leaves lagate hai. All this is very sacred tradition of India. These are not some whimsical things or whatever is available we are putting in. No. These are the sacred traditions of India mentioned right in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gauda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank
Krishna.
you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, indicate means Sanket, Prabhu.
Sanket. Yeah, correct. This was the word I was looking for.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.